Good morning. Launch Bellfield in Bellfield's near Heidelberg West. A project that's been with us since mid-2020. It's social housing, really homeless housing, an amazing sort of project initiation which hopefully turns into things that are going to happen everywhere, which is council-owned land put out to the market, the community housing provider market, to establish a new housing typology with a little bit of government money chipped in too, state money. So it's kind of an amazing three-way partnership. I haven't seen local government do much of this in a while. It's really fantastic for the local government to get into this kind of platform. This is a pro bono job to get commencement with Launch Housing. So that's a group we've been working with. Launch Housing provide homelessness services, so they're really a unique community housing provider. And in fact, this is the bid document, which is kind of fascinating to look back at that time.
So pro bono to what? To planning or something?
Pro bono to commencement, to sign it off, and then low bono after that, so cost after that. This is a former school site of the Kennett era and became a rather problem school for the state in Heidelberg West, sort of really entrenched poverty in Heidelberg West, which is rather perverse when you look at some of the housing about a kilometre down the road. And the council acquired the site from the state and then put out a tender for which Glenville ultimately won for all of those townhouses, which have not yet happened, and our little site's got the star on it too. Number 4. The council retained the yellow site and have ultimately built a community centre there. The offer is 58 apartments, a mix of studios through to 2 beds, a few dual keys, 39 cars which are in the basement. I guess Launch a rather unique proposition where they work very hard to get people out of entrenched homelessness, and I've met quite a few of the residents here. They're probably in the second half of their lives, and for many of them it's the first house they've had. A distinct community here, heavily sort of leaning on LGBTIQ groups, and I guess they're both learning skills to live as well as having a house to live in. Which makes for an interesting kind of common amenity, which I'll get to in a moment. 3 stories, nothing particularly unique about the plan except for they're about 15% oversized because they want to accommodate bunks in the bedrooms as required, and there are some dual keys, particularly you might see in the bottom left there, which is a rather unique proposition because we anticipate over the lifespan of this building a lot of ageing in place. You've got a lot of youth moving through the place and a different family typology. I'm not going to talk about the houses other than they're all silver rated and gold. Daylight was a key part about this. This is a rather difficult site, I guess, to put housing on. It's northern on one side, it's north-south orientation, so making sure all the services are on that side and maximising the daylight opportunity for the houses was a key thing, and we're working through that as a very careful thing and making sure the outlook is also managed carefully. And then this came to the identity for the building, this idea of sort of building new lives through housing, ending homelessness through homes first and then services bolting on through that. And this idea of the sort of connections of timber, forming new connections, and sort of the story of life told through the grain of timber became an important, I guess, allegory for the building. And so some of these early conceptual propositions, housing hewed from a single unity to create a craft of identity, became something we and the client became fascinated in. And this idea of grain sort of telling a story of a life and a lifespan. The people who live here can least afford to pay bills. And so we want to make sure that sustainability was at the forefront of this, but these houses are delivered under $300,000 a unit. So this is not high-tech sustainability. This is primary base level sustainability. which means terrific orientation, really good insulation, and reducing the carbon to the maximum extent possible. CLT and those kind of technologies were brought out of the equation, but putting sticks of radiata pine together and then cladding in a lightweight material that's really well insulated is probably the best move that anyone can do from a carbon point of view. So we went ahead and did just that, and it was rather fascinating to an architect who's had a lifespan of looking at grey concrete being stacked on top of each other to avoid that thing totally. So this is, the topping out of the building was a rather remarkable exercise. And then you can see the building coming together as a really stick-built product, which enabled it to get done in the cost centre that it needed to be at about $25 million for 58 houses, I should say. The project started with a conversation with community. So there's a lived experience, there's a traditional owner there, there's some launch housing executives.
2 minutes.
And that led to a collaboration with that artist who was there, Cassie Leatham, who's a Wurundjeri artist. And she extended that allegory to think about knotting and tying these communities together. And literally created this artwork and then screen printed it onto the walls. So that creates the identity and character of these lovely weavings for the common areas in arrival, and also through the shared amenity. A little snapshot of that shared amenity and the apartment interiors, incredibly robust, straightforward, and reasonably welcoming interiors. A little snapshot of some of the conversation from the people who live in this place. As I said, some of the first houses that this group has ever had, and some of the first residents moving in on moving day, which was, I guess, one of the most exciting moments as an architect. A little walk through the building, some of those common terraces to the shared private balcony, I should say, together with a beautiful view of the city, which is rather remarkable for this product class. Some of the detail, which is a printed FC sheet in a highly insulated envelope, and then how that detail rolls out into the broader building. Its street presence is part of, hopefully, a broader community which will evolve over time.